Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. And here's our track, 4.94 kilometers long, and overtaking chances into the first corner, into turn 14 at the end of the Esplanade, and now into turn 16 in the newly reprofiled sector that we first ran on in 2023. Still though, it's punishing and tough on the brakes, and the heat and humidity will take an effect on our drivers. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hadjar, Hamilton, George Russell and Norris, Antonelli, Verstappen, Behrman and Franco Colapinto, Lawson, Sainz, Alex Albon and Ocon, Lindblad, Gasly, Valtteri Bottas and Fernando Alonso, Hülkenberg, Bortoleto, Perez, and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And now it's time to head down to the track. And joining me in the commentary box today with the best view on what is about to unfold and some strong views on the action we're about to see, Naomi Schiff. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race. But I can tell you that pre-race rituals are a real thing. When I was in go-karting, I used to touch every wheel in a specific sequence before I got into the kart. And then I stepped up to cars and had a specific set of fireproof base layers just for race day. So watch the drivers when they're on the grid. Some may be sitting on the floor and isolating, others may be up to other things that they do. But these little things really help their minds get ready for the race.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Yep, check, okay.
Okay, so overtake is active. Overtake mode active. You're going to get more power from the hybrid system. You know how it works. Just use boost on the next long straight to get your way past. Okay, overtake enabled, overtake enabled. Look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, so with the new power units, make sure you're lifting and coasting before corners, and consider not always going full throttle. Try combining lift and coast into braking with boost out of corners and see if you can find a good balance. Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
And Leclerc to the line, to the checkered flag. It's King Charles today. He wins.
When it comes to raw pace, he's almost unmatched, but it was all about pulling it together, and today he did exactly that. A great job from the Monegasque.
It's what they've all been racing towards, waiting for them. High above the pit lane is our podium. And for the lucky three, it's time to stand on it. And who gets to take the top step of the podium? Yes, it is I, Leclerc, Charles Leclerc on top. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.